Rama 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 Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumararpanamastu. Let us offer our deep, grateful pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. This is no small grace to be able to sit in the shrine of Bhagwan and sing his divine name. We could have easily found 100 excuses to keep away from the shrine, to keep away from the Nama Sankirtan. It's only the unfailing grace that has made it possible. Our grateful pranams. Now today, again, we shall have another glimpse of the glory of Bhagwan. Yes, it's the glory of Bhagwan. When Bhagwan, in the early days, that is, devotees generally know the two families. Prabha, Mrs. Prabha and her husband Sundaraman, Sri G. Swaminathan and his wife Kanti. Prabha and Sundaraman were living in Kadalur at the time. Their son, the eldest son, Basu, was studying in the school. He was only in the 6th class. And that's when the family came to know much about Yogi Ramsuratkumar through probably Prabha's sister Kanti and Sri Swaminathan. They were here in Tiruvannamalai serving Bhagwan. So the family planned. Prabha, Sundaraman, Vasu, and his younger brother. They all planned to come to Tiruvannamalai to have darshan of Bhagwan. And they had heard so much about Bhagwan before, like how unpredictable, that nobody knew what he would say next, what he would do next. He was so unpredictable that they had to be very careful. So the family, especially Vasu, went through some rehearsals. You see, he was called Vasu at home and also in the school. Now, they decided if Bhagwan should ask for his name, he would surely ask that he should say the other name. He was given two names. The other name, Balasubramanian. So young Vasu had to rehearse it carefully so that if Bhagwan should ask him for his name, he would say Balasubramanian. Of course, it was in the evening, 7 o'clock. They went over to Sanadi Street house to have darshan of Bhagwan. Just as they expected, Bhagwan asked Vasu his name. And he had already gone through many rehearsals, so he managed to say Balasubramanian. You see, this young boy was only in the 6th standard at the time, began to think many things when he heard about the unpredictability of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. He was thinking, what is a Mahatma? I'm going to see a Mahatma for the first time in life. How would he be? How would he behave? Would he do some miracles in front of us? Would he give punishment if I did some mistake? Such was the crowd of thoughts he had. And so when Bhagwan asked for his name, in a very simple way, his carefully rehearsed Balasubramaniam came out promptly. Immediately, Bhagwan raised both his hands and said, "My father blesses you." Just before that, the parents, they thought it was their opportunity, and they said to Bhagwan that Vasu was not studying well. They sought his blessings for Vasu's studies. The situation was that at that time Vasu was getting very low marks in the class. He would not bother much with the studies. There were 60 people in his class, and if he managed to get to the 20th rank, it was good for him. And with more effort, he would come up to 14th, and that was all. Many times he had failed also. Naturally, this worried the parents so much. So as soon as Bhagwan asked for his name, the next thing they put forward was this worry that Vasu was not studying well. Now Bhagwan raised both his hands and declared, Balasubramanian will study well. A declaration, a blessing, it made the whole family happy. After their darshan, when the parents came out, they said to Vasu, look, Bhagwan has given his blessings. That's okay. Now, we are fortunate. But then you have to work hard. Your hard work and His grace would give you higher ranks in the class. Because they were worried that I should not take it very lightly, that I should not pay even that much attention as before, because Bhagwan had already given blessing. So they were warning him. But then he was studying the very same way. The rank also had not crossed 14, and he was being very casual about it. Now the worried parents kept asking Vasu, what is happening? Why are you getting low marks even now after Swamiji's blessings? So they reprimanded, and Vasu was afraid of further scoldings. So just to escape their scolding, he said, Swamiji said, Balasubramanian will study well. But I am Vasu. You have given my name as Vasu in the school as well. You change my name to Balasubramanian, I would study well. Swami's blessing would come true. Vasu confessed that he did not really mean it. He said it only to escape from the scoldings of his parents. Now, Sri Sundaraman took it very seriously. He thought there was truth in what she said. So he went about making arrangements and finally changed his name to Balasubramanian. And then Vasu, of course, did not put any extra effort, but he studied as before. He wrote the examination as before, but when he got the result, he was absolutely shocked. And so were his parents. He had gained 3rd rank. What a jump it is from 20th rank to the 3rd rank. Not that he changed his ways, not that he studied extra hard, yet the results were amazing. What Balasubramanian said came true. Once Bhagwan declared something, it's got to come true. They live in the house of truth all the time. These great masters, they are one with God and they live in the house of ultimate truth. So whatever they say has to be the truth. So that is how the Balasubramanian name got stuck. He was no more Vasu in school. And as Balasubramanian, Vasu says that after that there was no looking back. In every examination, in all his higher studies, there was only progress, and he was coming first. He was in the first class, always. So he happily reminisces how Bhagwan elevated him to a very high level of academics. And today he is employed in an IT company in a very high position. All thanks to Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Even though he did not take seriously Bhagwan's words, just to escape, he used it as an excuse, but that came true. So he has faith now, absolute faith in Bhagwan's words. We shall shift to another scene. Lakshmi Narayan, who is now working in a company in Bangkok. He was in Chennai with his family at that time. He was only a schoolboy, like Vasu. He was doing his 12th standard. He wrote his examination. He was also an average student. He came here with his uncle to have darshan of Bhagwan after the examinations. After he wrote his final examinations in the school, he came to have darshan of Bhagwan. Now Bhagwan made him read a certain portion. And then, after he read out, Bhagwan said, read it again. He read out second time, and Bhagwan said, read it out. And the third time, several times. But all through that, he did not keep anything in mind. He says there was only one word that was stuck with him, and that was faith. He vaguely remembered that it was faith. But he did not remember anything except that. So he went back and he failed his examinations. Now he felt very upset. I wrote my examinations. I went to have darshan of Bhagwan only to get a good pass. But what has happened? I have failed despite my darshan. He forgot that when Bhagwan asked him to read out, he did not think it was important for him and that he should pay his attention to what he read and retain, because unless it was something important, Bhagwan would not ask him to read. And how many times at that? Despite several times, he did not pay much attention to what he was reading, to the extent that he was not able to remember anything except the word faith. And then, when he was complaining, he remembered this word faith. And suddenly, in a flash, he understood the message that he must have faith in Bhagwan. He wrote his examinations. He got a good pass after that. Now he went to the college. He did his undergraduation. When he got the degree, BSc, he once again visited Bhagwan. Now, when he reported to Bhagwan that he got a BCom, Bhagwan said, BCom? Be calm. And then he would walk up and down and say repeated, be calm. Lakshmi Narayan, be calm. He would lengthen it and pronounce in such a way it had a sound message, be calm always. Now this time, Lakshmi Narayan was ready mentally to pick up the message. After that, it was always Lakshmi Narayan, be calm, not Lakshmi Narayan, be calm. So he remembered these two, faith and be calm. Lakshmi Narayan says, those times he was quick-tempered. He always got angry quickly, and there was much anger in him. But after Bhagwan pronounced, be calm, Lakshmi Narayan, be calm, and he picked up the message, and true to Bhagwan's statement, his anger slowly reduced, and he began to be calm. So he says, I learnt 2 messages from Bhagwan, and it is saving me till today. Faith in Bhagwan, faith in the efficacy of his name, and then not get agitated about anything at all, that I have to be calm with faith in Bhagwan. And strangely, after I narrated the story in Tamil this morning, I got a call from him after some time. He said that he is in Thailand. His sister in Chennai reported to him after my talk that Ma was talking about you today, about your visits to Bhagwan and the message that you learned. Immediately he connected with the satsang, and then he heard the whole thing. And then he rang up to say, what a coincidence, Ma. I had some problems in the company, and I was truly agitated for the past 1 week. I was very agitated. I've been very agitated. And there were there was so much confusion and I didn't know what to do. It's a crisis now for me here. And I was just thinking what to do. And I kept on asking Bhagwan. And suddenly my sister phones up from Chennai to say that you have talked about me, my visits to Bhagwan. And then I remembered the two messages that you spoke of. Faith in the Master and to be calm, no matter what. So that really helped me now, that things have become very clear to me as to what to do. And that's because your timely reminder of the messages Bhagwan passed on to me. He sounded very happy, not agitated at all. So the message came in handy, the right time. That was another miracle. Everything in this world is only a miracle, but we recognize only the few that we can recognize. Now we'll come to another scene, a third scene, Chandrasekharji of Arpukote. When he visited Bhagwan at Sanadi Street House in the 80s, one day Bhagwan gave him the book of songs by Periyasamy Thuran. And in the book there was a preface written by Periyasamy Thuran himself. He was a great, great Tamil scholar. Now, Bhagwan asked him to read a particular paragraph. So Chandrasekharji read out. And Bhagwan said, read again. So he read it out second time. Chandrasekharji, read it again. And the third time. Chandrasekharji, read it again. Fourth time. Now, Chandrasekharji began to get doubts. If he is a North Indian, he knows only Hindi. Probably he doesn't understand what is written in Tamil. So he's asking me to read again and again so that he will understand better. So this time, he started to translate it into English. Bhagwan listened to the translation patiently and then said, Chandrasekharji, read once again. Now, Chandrasekharji was truly thrown into confusion. I read so many times, he didn't understand. Then I thought I would translate it for him into English. And now again he's asking me to read it. So he still doesn't understand. He read it the sixth time, and suddenly in a flash, he understood the whole thing was meant for him, not for Bhagwan. And the minute he got it in a flash, he felt very ashamed. My God, the message is loud and clear. It is meant for me. And all the time here I was thinking he wanted to understand, so he was making me read again and again. How stupid I am. He felt ashamed. And what was it that he read? There was one particular sentence of Periyasamy Thuran which declared, I do not know how I landed at the feet of our divine Yogi Ramsuratkumar. It must be the punya, the good karmas of my mother or good karmas of my parents, like father or my ancestors, that I have finally landed at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar. This is what Bhagwan made Chandrasekharji read again and again and again. Until Chandrasekharji understood in a flash that it was meant for him. And then Bhagwan laughed and said, Chandrasekhar ji has understood now. He laughed. Chandrasekhar ji ki purinjachu. And then he laughed so much. And again, Chandrasekhar ji felt bad that he did not get the message at all until then. So whatever Bhagwan said, whatever Bhagwan did, had meaning and purpose. It was to educate us and elevate us to a higher level of understanding of things. Now, another thing about Chandrasekhar ji, for some time then, he had been brooding over a certain aspect of life. He had come to know what his parents, father and mother, the charities they had done. But when he did not know anything about the charities that his grandfathers, grandmothers, great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers, and the ancestors before. So he was thinking for quite some time what charities those people had done. I should get to know. And suddenly he connected with what Bhagwan made him read. So it was Bhagwan's message that you, Chandrasekhar ji, have landed at the feet of this beggar, this dirty beggar, because of the meritorious deeds of your forefathers. Now Chandrasekhar ji, more than ever before, began to think what meritorious deeds they had done, what charities they had done. As it was going on, one day he went to a function, and out of nowhere an old man, 90 years old, came and sat with him and started to tell him all about his grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents, all that. And Chandrasekhar ji had this opportunity to know all about his forefathers, the charities they had done, the meritorious deeds. So you see, when you go to Bhagwan, even now, Bhagwan may not be visible in his flesh and blood form, but he is here in that Chavatar. He is vibrantly present. And whatever happens in our life, we are always in the presence of Bhagwan, wherever we are. When you take a paper and write Yogi Ramsuratkumar and start writing other things, you can be sure the minute you write Yogi Ramsuratkumar, he comes and sits there. And the rest of the work that you do on the paper is only in his presence. If you start the day chanting his name, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, you are inviting his presence in your house. And thereafter, whatever you do, you are doing in his presence. He is watching. When you go to the office, before starting work, you say Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. You have invited him. He would come and sit there. He may not be visible to you, but you are in his presence, watchful presence. So you see, one has to be very, very careful with life. Whatever life brings to you, be it a sorrow or joy, it is from him. And it is happening under his watchful eye. All you have to do, take his name, all you have to do is take his name and make your prayer. Now this Bhagwan is here right in front of us. We shall submit our today's prayer, knowing that he has been watching everything, watching over us, and ever wakeful to attend to our needs. Bhagwan, we beg you every day, time after time after time, 1,000,000 times for your immediate divine intervention to free the entire humanity from this grip, from the grip of this virus, and bring back normalcy in every aspect of life, everywhere. And Bhagwan, please root out the panic from the hearts of people and stop the spread of the disease. Enter the medicine so that they would kill the virus once for all, and help all those stranded people who lack the facility for some reason or the other for good medication. Please reach out to them and provide them with whatever they need so that they get well soon and return home safely. And all those great soldiers who are in the field fighting out the disease for the sake of the others, unmindful of their own comforts, please give them a huge protection and all-round welfare. We also beg you for a boost to our economy. And above all, please bless us with constant remembrance of your name and the right attitude to life, the attitude of being a good and willing instrument in your hands, and that with gratitude. And Bhagwan, finally that supreme blessing that would purify our heart and elevate us to the level where we could see only your presence and your blessings in every happening of life. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar.